Thessaloniki. Welcome to Greece, welcome to CEDEFOP.
I'm pleased to see that 28 countries are represented here today, and also that several of you have come back to participate in our hands-on events that we call policy learning fora. So your interest proves that the topic that we are discussing today and tomorrow is highly relevant across Europe, and also that CEDEFOP's shift to, I would say, walking the talk is timely. The success of this policy learning forum really depends on your contributions and on the experiences that you will share with us, and that the suggestions that you will put forward on how to build and further improve the work so far.
I would like to stress a good cooperation, as Lucas already mentioned, that we have between CEDEFOP and the Commission in general, but also in particular in this area of work on learning outcomes, that is also closely related to the work on the European qualifications framework. We can argue that the learning outcomes approach is mainstreamed in EU policies, in education and training, and in tools that we have at European level. And that quite a lot has been achieved here, but of course challenges remain. This second forum also comes timely in the current EU policy context. So as many of you probably know, the Commission adopted a new skills agenda for Europe in June of this year with 3 priorities in the agenda, namely to improve the quality and relevance of skills formation, to make skills more visible and comparable, and to improve skills intelligence and information for better career choices. And all these 3 priorities need a learning outcomes approach in order to succeed.
I'm happy to present the main messages and findings from the study CEDEFOP has done in last 2.5 years on the applications of learning outcomes approaches across Europe.
Introduce you to this handbook for the definition and writing of learning outcomes, and it's certainly not a finished product, as Lucas implied. This is a very, very first draft, and I think our intention by presenting it here and also by giving you a first very early draft is to signal that this is something we want to work together with you.
During the afternoon, 3 working groups dealt with different topics, but the discussion led to a kind of similar conclusions in some sense.
The first working group, number 1, the development of the handbook, stays in here. Working group 2 for the common format goes to the library room, which is over there. Working group 3 for the European network will go to room C.
The handbook that Jens was talking about, for me it's a GPS for qualifications, how to go about designing these qualifications. Learning outcomes, both in principle and in practice, is at the heart for me of the journey from education to employment. Learning outcomes give providers and employers to step into each other's shoes, and I think this is extremely important. Secondly, we have created the platform. We will help you create if there is no platform in your country, in your context, because the work which we do here will serve no purpose if there is no echo in your country. And finally, this is not an exclusive task of us and educators. So the more social partners we get into this dialogue, the better. And on top of that, the earlier we do it, it is even better. This includes also students, because students must have a say. That concludes our Peer Learning Fora number 2. See you next time.